League. Look for 5 Dual Ale at select league ballparks or find 5 Dual Ale at festival food stores in Wisconsin. Remember to drink responsibly, designate a driver, and get home safe. As we get ready for the top of inning number 7, that marks the end of Raleigh Hector's day, who despite starting a first inning where he had to face 6 batters and let 2 come in, recovered admirably. As the starter leaves the game with the lead in 4-3 fashion, the Minot Hot Tots are up 4-3 at home, looking to even their second half record at 3-3, the 500 mark, and Gavin Nalu will play a big part in that. The pitcher being brought into the game was not one I expected to see today, in all honesty. Just with the way that the bullpen rotation has been going, I was expecting it to either be Evan Valencia or Gavin Schmidt. But Nalu, who has had plenty of time off, is given the trust of pitching coach Pete Horner to deal with the Loggers team, who is only trailing by 1 and have quickly proven how dangerous they can be, as last night in innings number 6 and 7, they put up 5 runs apiece to make it 10 unanswered, where the Hot Tots could never recover. Nalu will look to avoid being a part of a rally like that, as number 5, who is a sophomore from Stanford University and hails from La Mesa, California, is set for his 8th appearance on the year, where through 11 1/3 innings, he has a 4.76 ERA. The first batter he'll see sends one out to right field. Rollauer watches it, comes down just before the wall. After dribbling around out there on the warning track, the runner holds up at second, but it's a leadoff double that has the tying run on second base in Danny Neary. And the go-ahead run, Jackson Cobb, now coming to the plate. Big contact from Neary, who forces a quick mound meeting between Stapleton and Nalu, as the catcher looks to cool down his 5'11 lefty with a tremendous story to get where he's at today. Nalu's fastball used to reach 90 miles an hour all the way back in high school. And that's why when you think to yourself, he's a sophomore at Stanford who still hasn't seen any time. How could that be? Well, he's still working on a rehab process. As heading into that freshman campaign, he actually developed a tumor in his left arm, which he delivers with. It's completely reconstructed how he delivers a baseball, as he now relies on crazy loopers like that just started the at-bat. And he says he knows that eventually the velocity will come, as long as he continues his great work ethic, which is something that Nalu has plenty of, as he's got an 0-1 count with a runner on second base that he looks off and nobody gone to start off the top of the 7th. That one misses away, which evens the count at 1-1 from number 5 to number 8. Jackson Cobb is 0 for 1 today with a walk and a ground out to Ryan Riccio at second. And he's got the 2022 Pac-12 champ, Gavin Nalu, to deal with on the mound. The 1-1 is in there after a nice frame job from Travis Stapleton behind the dish. Helps out his relievers. The second arm the Hot Tots have used today, as opposed to the Loggers 3. As just a frame ago, Jack Bonnell came in and was able to strike out 2 in a 3-up, 3-down inning. Nalu now was able to force some weak contact, where Ryan Riccio calls off Tristan Moore and Jake Scholes, and the second baseman is there to make the play, as Riccio has now been a part of count it. This is almost unbelievable. Through 6 1/3 innings in the field, Ryan Riccio has now been a part of 6 outs, and all of which have come from inning 4 and onward, where Riccio has now made 6 of the 10 outs, as the second baseman is staying busy, calls everyone off, makes the grab, and brings the top of the order with Mick Paul up to take on Gavin Nalu. It's 1 away with the runner on second, and Nalu leaving one right over the zone for an easy called strike 1. Mick Paul, the center fielder, batted .470 his senior season at Olympus High School, where he jacked 9 home runs, walked 34 times, and was able to steal 26 bags, all of which while only striking out 12 times. The 0-1 to him, nearly able to find its way into the zone. Nalu gets good movement, but still misses up and in to the leadoff guy in the order and third batter of the inning, Mick Paul, who will step back in with a 1-1, 1-away count on the way in a game his Loggers trail 4-3, but have the tying run in scoring position. The 1-1 from Nalu is jackhammered foul, as that cut from Paul sends it to the left side and ultimately will just go as a long souvenir as a fan over there will walk away with a nice Northwoods League stamped and branded baseball. And Paul now has a 1-2 count with one out. Nalu delivers the 1-2. That one's going to be a tough play up the middle. Riccio is unable to make the diving stop, and that should bring in the tying run. It's exactly what it does. It's an RBI single from Mick Paul. And despite Riccio's best effort at second base, Danny Neary, with some heads-up base running and good hustle, comes all the way around to score. And Mick Paul is now 2 for 4 on the day with a pair of base knocks and his first RBI. That single that brought Neary around to score now has a runner on first with one away for Gable Mitchell, who is 0 for 3 today. He's put the ball in play in all 3 of his at-bats, but just hasn't been able to find a hole. As the right-handed bat, who we saw bat lefty in his first 3 against Hector, now switches to the right side as the switch hitter. A lost start, but something that Gable Mitchell believes helps him gain an advantage against anyone on the mound. As a 1-0 miss from Nalu well early, as the antics at first from Mick Paul look to get into the mind of number 5, who now has the task of keeping this game tied at 4. The La Crosse Loggers have hit the Hot Tots 8-3 today. Each side has committed 1 error, but the Tots somehow have this game deadlocked at 4s. As Nalu's got a 2-0 count with 1 gone missing high, and he'll avoid a 4-pitch walk of his 4th batter he sees. It's a 3-0 count with 1 gone, and Gable Mitchell, the former 373rd ranked player nationally in his graduating class, who's now a freshman at the University of Iowa, watching one blow by for an easy strike 1 call. Nalu looks off his base runner as a 3-1 drilled up the middle. DeHale has a chance at it and catches one at the ankles. He makes a sling over to first, but number 3, Mick Paul, is able to get back in time. It is a flash of the defense and speed there from DeHale, who has been putting it together defensively and makes a nice grab just before that ball is able to get into the turf for out number 2, which leaves Paul at first. And the game tied at 4s now with 2 away. As we get ready for Aiden Sweat's at-bat, let's take you around some notable scores in the Northwoods League. It was the Border Cats picking up their 2nd win of the half at home over the Honkers, who now fall to 2-4, and against the 2-0, that one nearly a nice play at second, as a good throw from Stapleton was right where it had to be, but the tag couldn't be laid in time. But as aforementioned, the Border Cats and Honkers both moved to 2-4 after that finish. Then over in the East again, the Express have now lost back-to-back to the Waterloo Bucks, who have sole possession of 2nd place at 5-1. And with the Loggers lost tonight, could have a tie for 1st in the Great Plains East. Then in an East-West battle, the Huskies won a 2nd in a row over the Mud Puppies by a score of 16-6. And in terms of games currently going on, it's the bottom of the 7th in Mankato, where the Moondogs trail 7-4 versus Wilmer. And as for the Rocks at the Larks are trailing 8-1 at home in the bottom of the 6th. For the game at hand, it's a 4-4 tie in the top of the 7th, where the Loggers brought 1 in and have the go-ahead run at second with 2 gone and a 2-0 count on the way. It's sent over to Scholes off of the bat of Sweat. Scholes delivers across the infield, and a 6-3 out will end the inning. Gavin Nalu gets out of it, but not before the Loggers tie this ball game at 4s. We'll head into the bottom of inning number 7. After everyone gets stretched out, Nick Pepe, Drew Woodcox, and Ryan Riccio will be up trying to get the Hot Tots League back on the Northwoods League Baseball Network.